trying to. Hang on.
Get comfortable, Fernando. We want your comfort.
I know.
Just move it wherever is convenient for you.
I'm trying to.
Good day, everyone.
Yeah.
How is your wonderful Saturday? That's right, it's the Saturday show. Fernando's adjusting the camera and shaking the crap out of it just to get it perfectly good so that he can read your comments and have fun, and you can have his face, boom, right in the screen, just like right there. Oh, hey.
Oh, it's in this
Dang, you screwed it up.
Just finished working.
What's up, John?
What's up?
How is everyone doing? So, it's Saturday.
Yep.
We have a couple announcements to make.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
One
hey,
is
Tony.
the one we've been talking about. Should we do a podcast? We're doing a podcast. That's right. So right now, we have a podcast up. It's a placeholder. It's the Monday show from Facebook. We're going to turn that. What's up, James? How's it going, buddy?
What's up, James?
We're going to turn the Monday show into a podcast. Plus, we're going to do a standalone Q&A podcast. You can say hi. Just keep saying hi.
Yeah. Hello.
Markland Design.
Markland.
Hey, what's up, man? I love your work, buddy.
Eduardo. What's up, man?
Yeah,
James. Hello. Shane.
But so we'll have a podcast up, and we don't know what it's going to have. Right now, it's just going to be a Q&A, maybe some banter between the two of us.
What's up, Wayne?
It's on iTunes right now, so you can download the Monday show from Facebook on there as a placeholder. We needed something to put up there to get this whole ball rolling, and it's also on. What's the heck of it? What's the name of the other the host? I have no idea. But anyways, what we need from you guys is Android guys. We need to know what podcast apps you guys use so we can put the show over there.
Look at that, Casey Neistat. Nice Casey Cross. I'm so excited.
So we need to just know what apps you guys, where you Android podcast guys, what you using for your podcast.
Yeah.
If you want to, it is in iTunes. You can search Car Audio or Car Stereo or 5-Star Car Stereo, and it'll pop up. And we have the cool, microphone with Dean and Fernando Car Audio Talk.
Yeah.
We're gonna come up with a name for it, probably like Car Audio Talk Q&A. I don't know yet. So it's new for us. We'll figure out how the show is going to. We'll figure out how the show is going to evolve. It is not going to take the place of any of the YouTube videos. So it'll be separate. It'll be content that's only available on the podcast.
Correct.
So you guys won't have to worry about us doing one last show or anything like that. We're not going to film it for right now. We're planning on just keeping it a microphone show only. If there is desire after we've shot a couple of you guys like, hey man, why don't you guys film it and put it on YouTube? Then we might do it and have like a special Sunday show or something like that. But right now, it's just going to stay a podcast.
And definitely it's going to be on iTunes.
Oh, yeah, it's already on iTunes. Yes. It's already on iTunes.
So if you go and search 5-Star.
Or Car Audio.
Car Audio Talk.
Stereo.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, so for you guys that like the Monday Facebook show but don't want to watch it because it's an hour on YouTube, or you have work to do, or you have your earbuds in, you'll be able to download that show and just listen to it. And, of course, then there'll be the individual content that is for podcasting only. So we're excited about that. We're going to take all the questions that we get from Facebook, Instagram.
James say, can podcasts be streaming live or only after recording?
They can only be live after recording. Yeah. So that's the only, it's you have to upload them to YouTube after, to iTunes after you've recorded it. So it's a straight up talk to your mic, have a conversation.
Yeah.
So we're going to take all our questions, though, as I was getting ready to say. We're going to take the questions from here on YouTube because we get tons and tons of questions that we just can't answer. It's 12:22.
What's up, Christian?
I'm in bed sleeping. So we get tons of questions on YouTube that are great that we just don't have the time to answer, that we want to answer. So we're going to answer a lot of those good questions on the podcast because sometimes it's quicker just to say what the answer is as opposed to typing. That's not to say we won't keep answering questions on here. It's just the really good ones are going to move over to the podcast. And hey, at the end of the day, doesn't your life just need more car audio?
Yeah. I mean, Gregory say, what about Google Play?
That's a good one. Like I said, we don't know. I'm not a Android guy.
Yeah.
So I'm open to wherever you guys are going. We want to know. Yeah. That way we can put the podcast there.
Okay, so I have something because they can leave it in the comment.
Yeah, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, so leave it in the comment.
If you're watching this live, we're gonna miss it because live disappears. But leave in the comments after the
Yeah.
show where you like to watch your podcast or listen to your podcast from,
Correct.
and then we'll figure out how to get them there.
Clean G35. Okay, so this is good. Somebody say, DJ Nyakaway say, how do I detect distortion from the head unit?
Well, normally you need one of two devices. You need a oscilloscope, or you're gonna need a distortion detector, or you're gonna need an RTA. So one of three things. I'm sorry. And what you do is you'd play the common frequencies right now are 1,000 hertz or 40 hertz, and you're gonna look for a thing called a square wave.
Yep.
Because the wave will go up and then it's supposed to be round on the top and bottom, and what it'll do is it'll flatten out because it's going to hit the rails, and that is clipping. Without one of those three devices, though, you kind of just have to listen with your ears for when sound doesn't sound right anymore. The other thing is you could check to see if we've done your radio.
Yep.
We do the radio dynos. If you go to the playlist Radio Dyno, and what that is we've taken specific head units, Pioneer, Kenwood, Alpine, and we've metered them for you, and we show you on what source and whatnot, and where it clips, and how you can use SLA or source level adjust to turn it up. I will tell you this: any one of the Kenwoods we've ever tested has never clipped, so you can ride that one all the way up. Pioneers typically clip between 38 and 36.
38, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Alpines was weird.
Sometimes
so
you can go all the way up,
and some you can't. So, but that's really where it's at. So you really need to have one of the. Unfortunately, you can't use a just like a regular digital multimeter to find clipping.
Correct.
At least not in a way that I have ever seen.
All right.
And if you want to see it actually in action, like we said, go check out the Radio Amp Dyno, and we actually use a SMD DD1. We use a oscilloscope, and we use an RTA. We use all three of them so you can see it all the way across the board how it actually works.
All right. Okay, so for Miguel Batista, sí hablamos español. So si quieres cualquier pregunta, mándamela a la página de 5 Star Car Stereo en Facebook y yo te la puedo responder ahí. Let's see. I'm looking to installing some Morel 6x9s in a Tundra. What do you think about them?
I love Morel. I love Morel a lot. We don't carry Morel as of right now. We'll see how that works out. I have all Morel in my house. I used Morel at the previous place I was at, so I'm a big Morel fan. I have no qualm. I think it's great stuff. You're going to need a bracket, though, to mount them in the door. And for that, you're going to want to head over to metraonline.com, and there you can find a slew of different brackets. When you type in your car, you're either going to get the model number of this one, which is the 828149, or you're going to get this one, which is the 828146. And both of these are Toyota to 6x9 adapters. You're going to need one of these to fit those in your car, unless you want to build them from scratch all on your own. That's why a lot of people buy the Focal Perfect Fit, because the Focal Perfect Fit, this is the speaker. It's made to look just like the factory. Sorry. Go on.
Yep. All right. So Casey said, question, my buddy lives right down the road from you guys. I'm sending him old school Polk MoMA components and some other gear. It's a 2016 Charger RT. Would you guys put it in the video?
Okay. So video filming we have a ton of videos that we film. We have a backlog right now. So we have a huge inventory. Probably 50, 60 videos that we're going to turn into install diaries. So a lot of the times we have customers come in, we film their cars, and they're like, where's your video? And it's going to be like 2 or 3 months. We're trying to come up with a better system, so like cars like that people want us, that came here specifically for us to film their cars, we can get those out faster than we are right now. We're working on a process to do that. Just don't have one yet. But we film almost every day. Yeah. So it just depends on how busy the schedule is, what the car is, how unique the install is. So we've kind of thinned out what we do as far as we don't just, since we have so much content, now we can start to kind of pick and choose. We don't have to just film every F-150 radio we put in. But we try to film it least 5 days a week. So regardless of how much content we have, we always have more.
Yes.
Because we enjoy doing it at the end of the day. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, more than likely we're going to film his car.
¿Qué tal, Miguel? Saludos a Guadalajara. All right, Mark. 2004 Chevy Trailblazer. I bought the
LCGM
24 packet. I noticed the factory harness. It doesn't have the red power wire. It's a different color.
Factory. Oh.
No.
Are you talking about the LCGM? The LCGM
well, the factory harness, it doesn't have.
Well, the factory
red.
harness isn't going to have red, but the LCGM 24 isn't going to have a red wire coming out of the harness. The red wire is going to come out of the LCGM 24 little module.
Yes.
Coming out of the harness is probably going to be like a purple wire or a pink wire that comes, usually pink or purple, that comes off of the brain and comes off of the harness, goes into the brain box, and then out of the brain box is going to be the red wire. That's one of the whole purposes of the LCGM 24 smart module, is it really does two things. It retains RAP, which is retained accessory power, which means when you turn the key off, the radio stays on until you open the door. And the reason why it's allowing you to, and it also retains chimes, but the reason why there's no red wire coming out of the harness is because there is no accessory behind the radio. That's why you need the module. That pink or purple wire that's coming out of the pack plug is a data wire. Think of it as like a USB plug-in on your computer. The car is telling that little box, hey, the key is on, and the box is going, oh, the key is on? Cool, I'm going to send an accessory out to turn on the radio. And that's a real general way to think of that. So, yeah, there is no red wire. That's why you need the box.
All right, Wayne.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. What's
Wayne
up?
Rice.
Yes. When to use the audio control mic. The other day, I had the app want me to pay for the RTA. Never had that happen before. We never had that.
Have I seen that before? Actually, when the app first came out, yes, that was it's an authentication thing. So that's weird. I would give audio control a call for sure on that one. But yeah, no, when it first came out, it's not recognizing the mic for some reason. That's what the issue is. So, because the mic, it has the authentication code built into the mic.
Yeah.
So I know when I first got mine, what, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, that was an issue, but then it went away. So.
And I got mine, and
make sure whatever you're using it on is up to date for one. And then if it still persists, make sure the mic is up to date.
All right.
Mine has a USB jack on. I don't think yours does. The new ones do too. The new ones I think have a lightning jack on the back.
All right, Khaled, say 2 ohms or 4 ohm speakers for the aftermarket head unit.
4 ohm. 4 ohm. Now, and the reason why that's important, and even JBL, Infinity, those guys finally figured out, they went to a 3.3 ohm instead of the 2 ohm that they were at. The 2 ohm that they were at was really meant for a replacement when you're doing like a factory system that had 2 ohm speakers.
Yep.
But everyone was hooking them up to their radios and trying to play it at 2 ohm. Well, deck power radios are not made to play at 2 ohm. 3.3 ohms is about the lowest you can get somebody's having a bad night. There's a fire department like right there. So
like 5 minutes.
If you're ever watching our videos and you hear like sirens through them, it's because the fire department's not 5 minutes. It's literally right there. And they're done. Anyways, so they switched to the 3.3 ohm because that's apparently the lowest ohm load that the radio will function at when the speaker's moving. So definitely just get a 4 ohm. Unless you're going to amplify them, even still, I still recommend 4 ohm speakers.
All right, Joe say 2010 Dodge Charger with the bass stereo. Which pack harness would I need?
They only have one harness, so it's depending on what you're trying to do, it's going to be an RP4 or a C2R, or an LCG or an LC. The difference between the two is a C2R anything is not going to have stereo controls. It's going to have the option for stereo controls. An LC, low cost, is going to be the exact same as a C2R, just different colored box. One's blue, one's black. And other than that, same damn thing. And then the RP4 is going to be the box that has steering wheel controls. So if you have steering wheel controls and you have a Chrysler, it's going to be an RP4 CHY11. If it isn't, it's going to be CHY11 with the other prefixes in front of it. But they only make one harness for the car, unless it's that's it for that. Now in the box, it's going to have 2 harnesses. It's going to have one for the old and one for the new. And by old, one is perfectly rectangle, and then the other one has a rectangle on the bottom. It's kind of rectangle, but the tops have a little curve to them. That's it.
That's it. All right, Miguel, si necesitarías llamar, Paul te va a contestar obviamente. Puedes decirle que te comunique conmigo y ya puedes hacer una cita.
You getting some love tonight, man.
I know, man.
Loving that.
Power Base.
Yes.
Make some 6x9s that are
fit.
perfect fit, and the Toyota didn't know to use the other. They're a little cheaper than the full cow, $129. Wow.
There again, that is becoming more and more common. Power Base just came out with those. We were aware of that. We don't sell too many. We carry like one pair of Power Base speakers. They make a 2-inch that goes in the dash of a Grand Cherokee.
Yep.
And some of the other Chryslers, we carry that one speaker that they make. Obviously, when it comes to that perfect fit, for us, the Focal is the most popular.
Yeah.
And because we stock these, it pretty much allows us to put any 6x9 we want in there. We had a guy today, the car we just finished before we pulled out of here, it was a 4Runner. The guy bought the perfect fit stuff, and he still brought it in to have us put it in because, which if you follow Fernando on Instagram, what's your Instagram?
Mr. Lopez.
You'll see why later tonight when you take a look at how he put the tweeter in. And it was a conversation I wanted to have. I don't know if we'll have it here. Well, we'll have it right now.
Yes.
That moment when you realize, when you're into an install as anybody, us, them, you, and you realize I'm in too deep. I need to find, and it doesn't have to necessarily be car audio. I mean, you could be replacing your water heater. And in that moment you realize I need to stop what I'm doing and just take it or have a professional finish it. And that's where this guy was, because he was in way over his head, and this was plug and play.
Yes.
And even the term plug and play I honestly hate, because it's not plug and play. If it doesn't exactly 4 bolts, click, that's not plug and play. It's, that's plug and play. Well, the Focal and the Power Base and all these others, it's like unplug and kind of plug, because they don't always, it's not idiot proof.
Yes.
So I hate the term plug and play. I just hate it with a passion.
Because he's never plug and play.
And this guy found out. He's like, oh, it's plug and play. No problem.
Correct.
I got this. Walks out with, $300 set of speakers, gets home, pulls the door panel off, puts all the screws in a Ziploc bag, organizing everything. Took the door panel, took way too many screws out of the door panel.
Correct.
Because he didn't know what he was doing. And then the next thing you know, it's like,
I'm lost.
what do I do?
Yeah, correct.
So that moment when, everyone reaches that moment.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went down that tangent. Okay.
There you go. Okay, Angel. Angel say, why Toyota have the tweeters out of phase from the factory?
Okay.
That's a good question.
And it's actually a real simple, and I believe this is a philosophy I have. For one, it's not a tweeter. It's a mid-range. And I believe that is why it is out of polarity with the lower mid-bass, because it's not a tweeter, it's a mid-range. And what's probably happening is that they found out that mid-bass and that mid-range, if they're both playing on the same polarity, they get a phasing issue at the higher frequencies where you get some cancellation. Now, by turning one of the speakers out of polarity with the other, that it will erase that phasing issue to where you won't get that cancellation. So when we go in and we pull out those little mid-range and put in a tweeter, there's enough of a gap there that mid-bass isn't going to be playing up to affect those frequencies that the tweeter's creating, and that's why we put them back in polarity. But I believe it's just because they're using that little mid-range, and that's why.
All right. Let's see. LGM. It's possible that capacitor can blow an amplifier.
When it comes to a capacitor, anything is possible.
Everything can happen.
I've had capacitors go thermonuclear on me while tighten them up, and that's when it decides to blow. And it's taking out the amplifier, it's taking out the subwoofer, it's made me want to puke. So yeah, it's totally possible, because anything in power line, it can affect anything down power line. So,
hello, Fat Cat 39. Thank you for watching, buddy.
What that means is I'm not a fan of capacitors.
Correct.
Just saying, not a fan.
Okay.
Yeah, they're crap.
Chris, how do I go about going active with only 2-channel amp?
You can't.
I do have component, not coaxial speakers.
You can't go active with a 2-channel amp. The whole point of active is to have the channels to go active on. So you can go passive, which is probably what it is now, but active means you have a channel for each speaker. So if you have tweeters in the dash, mid-range in the door, mid-bass in the door, that's 3 channels, total of 6 channels. You need 6 channels of amplification. If you have a tweeter and a mid-bass, that's 4 channels of amplification. So to go active, you have to have the number of channels you're trying to go active with. So that's how that works.
All right, so Wayne said, yeah, he having that mic for a year, almost a year.
And it just started doing that.
Yeah, you think this like an update or something?
I think there might be an update. Or I know Studio 6 is the company that's making all the software for that. They have been working to try to get everything iOS 10 compliant. So I would definitely make sure the apps are up to date, and then if not, I would give them if it's still like if everything's up to date and it's rocking and rolling, give Auto Control a call. They're really nice guys there, and they don't like it when their product doesn't work. I mean, Chris Bennett, who's been on the show, they're really good people. So, they have a 5-year warranty on their amplifiers, so I really don't think they're going to give you any grief over something that's not working. The other thing, too, is try deleting the app and re-downloading the app, or if you have a buddy that has an iDevice, download the app on his phone and see if you have the same problem.
Yeah. Reset your phone.
That works, too.
Yeah.
What was the access question?
Okay, the access question is like, have you guys ever have noise issue with the access GMRC01?
No Bose. No Bose never had noise issues on any of them. Bose have noise issues all the time. You have to use SNI1 noise filters, but you shouldn't have noise issues if there's no Bose, unless it's the factory premium sound system as well. So, like in a Tahoe or any one of the SUVs, there's a factory amplifier located behind the glove box. Like if this is the glove box, it's right here. There's a factory amplifier there. So even though it's no Bose, you'll still get noise if it has that amplifier. So if that's the case, then you can still use SNI1 noise filters to filter that out, or just bypass the amplifier altogether.
All right, Bill. Our 2015 2017 Camry with JBL speakers 2 and 4 ohm. Also, do you know of any reason JBL and Toyota keep everything about this system secret?
What have they been? We did one of those. I honestly don't even pay attention. They're 2 ohm, right?
They're 2 ohm. Yeah, with the JBL, yes.
Yeah, it's 2 ohm. Here's the thing. JBL, Toyota, it's a nightmare. And right now, Pack Audio is going through the headache of trying to build the amp pros for that. It should be out here. I know the first one that we have, the TY11, I think is out now. The TY12, which will be for that car, should be out here very shortly. Toyota, talking to those guys, Toyota just does some of the dumbest stuff ever. I don't know. I mean, why do any of these guys do any of this crap?
Yeah.
I think it's just to make the aftermarket world hate us.
I know. Tommy, installing a Pioneer 4200, where's the difference between the pack and the idling harness?
Okay, so, and this is just purely my opinion on the two. If you feel like you need to have gauges and your door is open, and that's really about it, unless you have the dash. Like, if you don't have a dash that has the air conditioner that's going to be built in the radio, the only other feature you're going to get is gauges, tire pressure, door open, and the ability usually to maybe possibly reset the OBD2 if there's check engine lights or something like that. If you need those features, like you feel like, oh man, I gotta have those, you buy the iData. If you just want something you can plug in and be done with it, and you don't have to worry about flashing the module, no nonsense, the stuff just works, go with the pack.
Yeah.
Now, as far as what do we do more of? Pack. We sell a ton of pack. And we give people the options, and most of the time they just go, yeah, just give me the pack.
Correct.
So,
all right, City Jenkins say, I have 2007 Acura TL Navi DVD system. keeps failing and the rear camera stays on every now and then.
Oof.
If I drive down from Iowa with you guys, can you guys help me out? My dad lives in Jacksonville. I still can visit. Um,
Give us a call. We'll talk
yes.
about it. And that's something we don't want to obviously figure out here.
Yes.
So just give us a call, 727-216-6170. You get Paul. We'll figure it out.
Sounds like a commercial.
I know. It's what we do.
I
And
know.
speaking of commercials, have you guys ever wanted a 5-Star Car Stereo t-shirt? Well, if you do, head over to Teesprings. Go to stores. Go to Teesprings at stores, 5starcarstereo.com. Or check out in the description for the videos below. There you can pick up cool, inexpensive, well, they're still inexpensive, hoodies, t-shirts.
Yep.
The only thing we don't have, unfortunately, is hats.
Hats.
And I'm working on it.
Not right now, but yeah,
Okay,
we're going to.
back to questions.
All right, we're gonna have another commercial later.
hats?
Yes.
You got hats? I didn't know about it?
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
I
cool.
have a 2000. I have a 1999 Lexus GS300. I want to know, what do you think about running two component sets from and a set of coaxials in the back doors? What do you think about it?
Running two
And-
component sets?
yes.
Running two component sets up front and a set of coaxials in the back doors. Yeah, that's cool.
And what amp will be good? Well, that probably depends on what kind of
Depends on your budget.
speakers.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's the deal. Would I run two sets of component sets up front? Yes, I've done it before. I used to have a Mitsubishi Eclipse, and I used to have a car before that, Renault, and I ran two sets of components up front, set of coaxials in the rear. I love the way it sounded. It was great. It was back when I used to do a lot of custom work, built door panels all the time. So yeah, it was awesome. I even had one car that had a 3 or 4-way set up front. Had two mid-bass, mid-range, and two sets of tweeters. It was awesome. And it's a 3-way set with a lot of stuff. Now,
Yep.
when it comes to power, they're going to be 4-ohm components. There's going to be 2-ohm up front. It's going to be 4-ohm in the back. You have to decide what you want to do. Obviously now 6-channel amplifiers are becoming
Yep.
more and more common. You could buy a 6-channel amplifier and you could run everything at 4-ohm. You could buy a 6-channel amplifier and you could go active on the front, meaning you could do tweeter, mid-range, full active, and then run the coaxials in the rear. You could buy a 4-channel just for the front, go active on the front, or buy a 4-channel and just power everything off. Put the two mid-bass, or the two components up front on channels 1 and 2, put the rears on 3 and 4. It's up to you. There's no wrong answer for this other than using deck power to run the rear speakers because of whatever. Just don't do that. Other than that, any combination of those you want to do would be great.
All right.
Power is key.
James Jackson.
James
Remember?
Jackson.
Yeah.
Do I remember him?
Yes, he just came with the kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like, thanks for talking to me early today, and thank you for the lanyards for the kids.
So a little backstory there for you guys that want to follow at home.
Yeah.
James Jackson right here came by earlier today, brought us two little kids. And the one of them walks over to Fernando, the little boy, and what did he say to you, Fernando?
He say, I mean, what are you guys doing? I'm like, doing stuff and everything. He's like, I don't like your YouTube channel. I love your YouTube channel. And I'm like, what? Wow, that's nice.
And his little
She's like,
daughter
yeah.
that came with him was like, hey, how do you guys film the show? You know? So she wanted to know how many cameras we used, how many microphones we had. So we took her over here and showed her this camera. We showed her that camera here.
The
And of course,
GoPros.
we got GoPros, and then we got the TV. This is the TV that we use.
Over there.
That one. That's
Yeah.
the TV we have for
Yeah.
the Facebook Live show. We're doing some construction over here that we can't talk about right now. But yeah, it was kind of cute. Fernando was all tickled.
Yeah.
Little kids.
That was awesome.
Okay.
Honestly, that was really good. All right. The Ensure, it's awesome. Out of control. Yeah, I don't know. I still don't understand, but it's cool. Yeah. Thanks for. Oh, okay. Passive, no amp.
Passive, no amp.
Yeah.
For what?
Biamp.
Biamp. Yes.
Yeah, for I guess the
Yeah, Biamp is
Active.
also real popular, or not. Okay, Biamp is another feature that a lot of people don't do much of. Like for example, Rockford has the Power Series P2s. Come with a little box. It's about yay big, and the cool thing about it is it's biampable. And how that works is for a lot of people that like the idea of going full active, but are scared that they don't want to blow up the speakers by setting the crossover points, or the amplifiers don't have the crossover points, or the radio doesn't have the crossover points, but they just want to get more power to something. Bi-amping is a great option. It allows you to put a channel to each tweeter and to each mid-range from that passive crossover.
Yeah.
And then you don't have the problem of figuring out which crossover is and blowing it up. It's also really nice too if you have a, let's say, a GM car and you're trying to replace something. A lot of their older cars have a bi-amped system built into it where there's a wire for the mid-range tweeter and then a wire for the mid-bass. You can use something like that, Rockford, which I never would because the price points are silly. But Sony used to make a GS series speaker that would fit in those really nice too. But bi-amping is also a really cool option.
All right, Alex, what brand of speakers do you recommend for F250?
What year?
Has
6x8.
Has 6x8s, and it has a Kenwood DDX 9704S heading.
Okay, so the bad.
Hello, Michael from Hawaii.
Awesome 5x7, 6x8s. Check out the Check out the Power Series 5x7s. Okay, those things are bad. I mean, those things are really nice.
And now they down in price.
Yeah, and I wanted to say badass, so I'll just say they are badass 6x8, 5x7s. We've actually did this, and the reason why we know they sound great in those cars is we were trying to do a guy a favor one time and save him some cash. So he came in with his F250. We put a set of powers up front, a set of punch in the rear. And we're like, it's just in the rear, the behind the seats, you'll never hear him. Guy sat in the car, sat in the rear, listened to him, and he says, pull those out, put whatever you put in the front in the back. These things are awesome. So now when we have the opportunity to, and the guy's got the budget for it, we just walk him right into the Power Series and say, look, if you want the baddest 5x7 for this thing, do these.
All right. Let's see. Custom. Just use enough custom. Will the Access Chrysler wiring unit cause my mileage to blink on my dash in the new Jeep Cherokee 2017?
Okay, anytime you're using a smart harness at all in any type of these cars, yes, strange things can happen. We just ran into this this week? Was it this week or last week? It was this week,
this
right?
week. Yeah.
Which car was that?
The no, that was not the Laredo. That was
It was a Chrysler.
Commander.
Yeah, Jeep Commander.
Yeah.
So we had a Jeep Commander come in this week, and it was a 2000. It was last year they made the. No, was it an 8? Anyways, the Jeep Commander came in. That's that big weird SUV, and both Metra and PAC didn't list a smart harness for the car. And I'm like, what the heck? This is ridiculous. Grabbed the smart harness off the shelf, plugged it in. Everything was hunky-dory. I was like, dude, it's got accessory, it's got lights, it's got reverse, it's got all that. So I'm like, wait a minute. There must be something going on here because both Metra and PAC don't list a product for this. So I called my buddy Derek that works at PAC Tech Support, and I said, Derek, what the heck is going on here? And he's like, dude, let me explain something to you. The reason why that's not listed on the website is because we've had multiple people say, hey, there's been issues, and that's why no one recommends a harness for that car because things like dash lights, mileage, amplifier not turning on, all kinds of strange things happen. So the easiest thing for them to do is say it's not compatible with that car. Now Metra says that's compatible, that's fine, that's normal. It might be an issue that they're having. There might be a software update for that harness. That's the nice thing about these new harnesses is there are software updates available for everything now. Yay! So it might be a glitch somewhere in the Ghost in the Machine or Ghost in the Shell or whatever where there is a software update. I would recommend calling Metra and asking them about it and seeing what's up, seeing if they've ever had that problem before. Might be a known issue. They might be working on a patch to fix it. I'm assuming they probably are. I love it when I call these guys and they go, no, we've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Never even seen that. And you're like, are you kidding me, really? So in the place of the Commander, just to finish telling that story, we had to go old school on it. We had to go find an accessory wire, a brake wire, a parking light wire. And yes, we filmed it. And sometime in June, you'll see this video and go, I remember them talking about that. But yeah, sometimes goofy shit happens.
All right.
That's 2 cuss words. I'm bad.
Michael say hello from Wisconsin. Do you know of any double DIN screens with an optical output or a Toslin output to the DM810?
No. Alpine used to have it on their older models, so you might be able to find an older Alpine that had a but no, none of the current stuff do. And actually, that's funny that you bring that up because that was when John was here on the Facebook Live show. We talked about that and how radio manufacturers just don't do that. And we had one guy that lost his cookies over it, and because we were talking about the reason why the manufacturers aren't doing it, and this was just our discussion as far as the theory behind it. It has to do with what people are using, what media people are using now to listen to. So 90% of the people out there use something like this, which is a smartphone. We're recording this on an iPhone or this on an iPhone. You know, Fernando's got his phone right here, and all his music is on this phone. Now, Tidal, which is the news service that for $25 a month, $25 a month, you can have. That's $25. That's Hulu and Netflix. Okay.
What?
For $25 a month, you can have high-res FLAC files play through your deck, and if you have a high-res deck, you're cool there. But the thought is like, you know, we used Haley as an example. Haley's 18 years old. She listens to Pandora and Spotify, okay, which are both crappy forms of music to listen to. They're not great. So, as a radio manufacturer, do you spend the extra whatever it costs to put that in there, knowing that less than 1% of the market is going to use that? And the answer was no, they're not going to. They've even, like Kenwood, has taken HDMI out because they're like, how many people are using this HDMI? And we're like, a lot of them, put it back in. Will it start to come back in, come full circle, and have that jack put on the back? There's a good possibility now that they're really pushing this high-res audio stuff. But I think it's the fact that these radio manufacturers are slow to change.
Alright, Alfredo, probablemente lo que tienes que hacer es cambiar el remoto y ponerlo al cable rojo del estéreo para que no suene. También probablemente vas a necesitar un relay para que te dé un poquito más, más poder para el ecualizador.
This is a DDX 6019. This guy is so old it's not even funny. But right here, look on the back of this. Right there. See that? That gold thing right there?
Yeah.
That is a digital output, my friend. That's your Touchlink right there. Okay? It was right there. They
How
had
old
these.
is that?
I don't think it has a manufacturing date on it.
But it's old.
It's old. Okay? So they've had them before, and it's there. But they just took them away.
I know. All right, Charlie, any tips to installing a head unit in 2006 4500? I believe doesn't have a factory amp.
Well, the 4500, you have to worry about whether it's the right dash or not, I believe. That was the one that had the two different dashes. One was a single DIN, and then I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. But no, if it's a 4 and they make a dash kit and it's the right dash kit, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Follow the instructions, pull it out, pop it in. You know, I mean, if you've watched any of the install diaries, we show you how to wire up a harness. You're good to go. Should be okay.
Right. Hello, gentlemen. That's Steven. Yeah. How you doing tonight?
I haven't seen Fro.
Yes, maybe
no
it's. I know.
Okay.
Quick question. My system was perfect until today. I know, right? Start making an alternator noise. If an alternator it's going bad, can I just start making that noise?
Engine noise or any form of inherent noise like that could be a multitude of things. It could be the alternator starting to go bad. It could be a part in the alternator going bad. It could be a bag spark plug wire. I had a case where in a Ford Mustang, the spark plug wires were crap and we had noise. It could be the ground got loose back at the amplifier, you know, or the screw head popped off, or there's rust back there. Could it be something inside of the amplifier decided to take a poo?
Yeah.
Noise is just crazy. It could also be that the battery terminal is loose or the ground battery terminal is loose. That's a tough one to fix. It's a tough one. Random noises like that. It could also be that one of the speakers has gone bad and the basket is shorting out and now you're hearing the noise. Really, at the end of the day, digital multimeter and an ear, check every speaker, make sure it's playing the way it's supposed to. Put a digital multimeter back at the amplifier, make sure the voltage is still good, make sure that it's only point something off of what the front battery is while it's playing. Check to see voltage with the car running. That's about it. Also, put eyeballs on the ground of the amplifier. Make sure that that's still a tight, secure ground. Sometimes if you live up north, if the undercoating isn't on the car, and this is just purely speculation because we live here in beautiful Florida, but if the ground is going through the bottom of the car, that broke that rust seal, the bolt might be rusting out.
Yeah.
So
All right.
something to check.
Michael, I'm always interested in how or why people decide to install car audio professionally. I've been installing for 12 years. What do you decide to start in professionally, and for how long?
I've been doing this for 27 years. I started doing it professionally 27 years ago. That means 27 years ago in the summer of June of 1990, I got my first paycheck from a store, and I worked at that store for 21 years. The reason why I started doing this professionally is because I needed to be able to pay for the system I wanted to put into my car. I'd always put my own stuff in. All through high school, I did all my stuff. I did all my friend stuff. I built boxes. Everything that every aspiring installer wanted to do. I lived paycheck to paycheck to buy my next piece of stereo equipment because that's all I wanted. And to be honest with you, the funny thing was I'm not a big fan of music, so I just loved the car stereo equipment. I loved the electronics of it. I loved everything about it. I gravitated towards it. Why do it professionally, or why have somebody do it professionally? Because perfect example, I'm talking about PAC, talking about these engineers that come in here from whatever company. These guys are the stuff that are building these products. They're pulling these cars apart. The difference is 6 days a week we do car audio, meaning we get up, we work on cars 6 days a week. We're going to know just a little bit more than the guy that has worked on 4 cars this year. That's not to say we're better than them or that we're not going to take the care that they're going to take. I've seen some guys that don't do this professionally have done the most amazing work I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just like, God, dude, that's freaking awesome. And I've seen professionals that have been doing it as long as I have that totally suck. And I sit there and go, dude, God, that is crap. So that's always the question. Do you rely on a professional to do it, or you do it yourself? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I know there's certain things that I don't want to do myself that I'll gladly pay a professional for. That's not to say I can't do it. I just don't want to do it.
Hi guys from Brazil. Okay, so let's see.
You can answer how long you're doing it?
I'm doing this for 6 years
Total?
total. Yeah.
You didn't do
Well,
no, when you worked for the other guy.
Well, with the other guys, 6, almost 7, 8 years. Yeah.
And why did you decide to do this?
I decided to do this because I like car audio. I like to do my own stuff, and I always try to do something. So, and when Dean and Paul give me the opportunity to work with them, I was like, oh yeah, man! I finally I can learn the right stuff, or how to do the right stuff. So.
Okay, I hope that answers that question. Moving on.
All right.
What do you got for me?
Ultimate Fitness. Do you think crossovers and EQ are necessary for a car audio install?
Crossovers are always necessary. You have to have a crossover. A crossover in any shape, form, a crossover could be something as simple as a cat bass blocker on a set of coaxials, but you have to have a crossover. Crossover is what tells speakers what frequencies to play. So you don't want a tweeter playing the sound of a subwoofer, and you don't want a subwoofer playing tweeter frequencies. Mm-hmm. Now, speakers have what are called natural roll-offs, meaning they are going to naturally stop playing certain frequencies just by design. However, most of the time you want them to stop playing frequencies faster than they're going to naturally roll off and do it. So you have to have a crossover. Do you have to have an EQ? No. An EQ is what makes those speakers sound good to your ears. Some people are cool with very little adjustment, and they're like, yeah, no, this is perfect. I like the natural way these speakers sound. Therefore, you don't need an EQ. Do you need a huge EQ? No, a lot of the times, most people can get away with bass, mid, and treble, and they're perfectly happy. Other people, if they don't have 32 bands of stuff to play with, they're totally miserable.
Yeah.
But you have to have a crossover. You don't necessarily need an EQ.
All right. For Dennis. Dennis, he say what kind of radio is good for a 2007 Honda Odyssey? Like, which one is the best radio?
Well, we have a cool video showing you how to pick a radio.
Yes.
Anytime you're deciding to buy a radio, say which radio is the best for you. Hey, 9904 is a kick-ass radio. However, it might do way more than you need. Mm-hmm. You may need GPS, therefore that radio doesn't have GPS, wouldn't be the one you want. You may not want Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, then that wouldn't be a good radio. You might want a CD or you might not want a CD. So that's a very vague question. If you want to give Paul a call, we can kind of help you whittle that down to something that is more what you're trying to do. Plus, there's also budget to keep in mind. Something with navigation typically adds $300 onto the price, where you can get into something with CarPlay or Android Auto for about the same price as what it costs you
Yes.
to have navigation built into a radio. So it's all good. But
Yep.
we just did Install Diaries Friday show was on a Honda Odyssey. And I don't remember what radio we put in that, but pretty cool. Check it out.
Yep. All right. So let's see. I was in here. I put
DSR1.
DSR1 on my Mustang, and sometimes when the bass hits hard, and the DSP will turn off. The DSP will turn off, and the traction control lights turn on in the dash. I never heard that.
Okay, I could see that. I could see that.
Hello
Depends
from
on-
Australia,
Depends
Andrew.
on what kind of. Yeah, I could. Traction control. Wow, okay. I had that happen once in a Mercedes Benz. Not in a Mustang. That's strange. I would definitely call iData on that one because okay. The question is, did you use the iData interface on it, or is it just straight up DSR1 plugged to high level, low level into the radio? I'm assuming you used the iData. If you used iData, you definitely want to call them and see if there's some kind of issue talking over the Ford CAN bus.
All right. Christian said, because he actually installed his, he said, make sure you plug
push all the tabs
all
in.
the tabs in. Make sure it's all the way in.
And Christian just got his 2 weeks ago.
Yes, in the Audi.
He lives here, so we know him. So those are those little crappy plugs. So make sure that we ran it. What we did that in what was that car? It's like a Toyota or something. Where we weren't plugging the thing in. It was driving us crazy, and it was literally
Okay.
Or the bass knob's backwards.
Yes.
The bass knob was backwards today, so I have the bass knob turned all the way up, and we're not getting any sound.
Nothing.
I'm breaking out RTAs and meters, and we're trying to figure out I got every tool in this truck, and Fernando goes, hang on a second, turns the knob the other way, and all of a sudden the bass working. I'm like,
what?
Are you freaking kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Fernando to the rescue. There you go.
Yeah, I was losing what little hair I had.
I know. Yeah, you are. Do you ever have trouble soldering the wires in the harness of cars from early 70s? The copper looks dark, and even with the hot solder irons or guns, the solder just roll off.
Yeah. If it's dark like that, you have to sand it to get that crap off. That's oxidation, and the copper's not going to stick to that. So you'd actually have to go in there with some sandpaper and sand that down, at least the outside where you're standing, to get that oxidation off. Yeah, that's for that. What you may want to do is the threading the needle, where even still you're not going to get a good connection because that oxidation is always going to cause you issues. But you can also do the threading the needle where you have your wire bundle here and you thread it open like this, and you put your wire through it, and then you wrap it around 3 or 4 times, make sure it's nice and tight, put a zip tie around it. But if you have to solder into it, I would recommend sanding it down and getting that oxidation off so you can get a good clean bite on it.
Wayne, we have multiple issues with the new Cherokee using Metro parts with no fixes yet. Wow.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah.
There's the answer to that. Thanks, Wayne, for chiming in. Very helpful.
Yeah, thank you. Hello from Ohio.
So yeah, there are certain dash kits that just aren't functioning properly. The Honda is one that typically has issues, but yeah, apparently the new Cherokee kit as well. That's the bad part of buying that kit first year, first production. It can be scary, and sometimes you just run into those problems. And mainly that's because these manufacturers have a real limited base of cars to test this equipment on, and they don't know what to do. They might not have run into your particular car, and or the half hour or an hour that they had with your car. Obviously that problem didn't occur. We run into that a lot of the times with PAC because they're local and they'll ask us questions, and they'll be like, hey, have you guys ever seen this before? Or we'll call them up and be like, hey, and they'll be like, dude, cool, keep the car there. We're going to send somebody down because we know this issue. We've been trying to get our hands on it. So
All right.
patience is all I
Yeah.
can always say.
James.
Yes.
Dean, do you prefer speakers on axis or off axis? Evenly glade on both sides of the
Angled
car.
on
Yes.
both sides of the car. Um, I've never really put any thought into that, James. Um,
Well, we tried that when.
well, okay. So, for example, the tweeters in my car would be off axis because
Yeah.
they're mounted here in the door,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the cars nowadays are on axis because they're up here, right in your face. I've never really put too much thought into it, to be honest with you, as far as which one I like better. I know you have your tweeters aimed at you. Um, that's a tough question. I really think it depends on the tweeter. Um, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I've never really paid attention to that because to me, I'm always getting in the car and I know I'm going to be limited on by whatever the car has, so I just going to start EQing what I'm dealing with, play the cards that you have. So that's all I ever try to do. I've never really thought about it. I know when I built my own stuff, it was always in the door off axis, so.
All right. Chris, Dean, do you have some pictures of your old car stereo systems? Do you have them?
Funny you should bring that
Please
up.
put it on Instagram so everybody can see it.
Okay, so funny you should bring that up. Actually, we were just talking about this week. I was like, I have all these old pictures of the cars that I did, and I should just start an Instagram page and call it Dean's Classic Car Stereo Installs or some silly shit like that. That's third cuss word. Yes, I'm going to do that. I have them all on a hard drive that isn't currently powered up right now because after the hurricane came through, some of my hard drives, I wire everything back up and I forgot to plug in the one USB that controls them all. Really dumb. So my plan for tomorrow, which is our one and only day off, is to find those pictures, start an Instagram page, and start putting those up.
So you have pictures from the Dodge Ram that you used to have?
From the one we did here?
No. The U car.
Mine?
Yes.
Probably not.
No?
No.
Okay.
Probably not. I might. I was looking for my old pictures of my Mitsubishi Eclipse
Yes.
because I
Do you
really
have
wanted
it?
to find that. I couldn't find it yet. I know there are pictures somewhere. And that one was cool too because that had a bunch of Orion stuff, 2.8s, plexi bandpass. That was really fun. But no, I'm gonna stay tuned. Once I find it, we'll put a link to it in the show notes.
Yes.
Not yet, but yeah, we're gonna do that.
What's up, Nelda? What's up, Flex? Any words on the new Pioneer AVIC unit?
Yeah, the word of the day is no word. If you there's a Hector, there is a
explosion like a salmon.
What? Explosion like salmon. Anyways, there is a consumer, or not a consumer, but an industry website where they report on stuff. It's called CE Outlook. Pioneer did do a small piece on there that explained that, hey, look, it's going to happen when it happens. So it's going to happen when it happens. At this point, we were talking about it the other day. The new Kenwood stuff is scheduled to come out March. Is when that stuff's going to start shipping. More than likely, if Pioneer stays true to what the AVIC stuff has been in the past, it'll be April, May, or June. But who knows? Now that they've seen what Kenwood's going to do, they might have to go back to the drawing board because I know Pioneer doesn't want to be left behind, but they might have to at this point. I don't know. We know that it's going to have wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. We do know that for a fact. But other than that, we got nothing.
Nothing. What do you think? Let's see. Thanks for answering the question. What do you think is best for my vehicle? A 4-channel mid-range amp with a bass amp, or a 5-channel amp? What bass speakers do you recommend? DS18 or is good brand?
I've never heard the DS stuff, but it seems like it looks nice. Okay, so when it comes down to, I buy a 4-channel or a 5-channel? That is a wonderful question. So how do you figure that one out? comes down to the subwoofer. At the end of the day, it's always going to come down to the subwoofer. Most 5-channel amplifiers are only going to have 300 to 500 watts of subwoofer power. So as long as the subwoofers that you're planning on buying will handle the 300 to 500 watts, you're golden. You can go with the 5-channel. Now, if your subwoofers are going to need 1,000 watts of power, there really isn't a good 500. There isn't a good affordable 5-channel amp out there that is going to power that. At that point, you would be better off doing like a 4-channel and a monoblock. So, for example, we just recently did a Toyota Tundra. Tacoma. I don't know. They all start with T, and it really drives me crazy. Titan, Tacoma, Tundra. Really, guys?
Yes, right?
Let's get creative. Come up with more letters. And what we ended up doing is he wanted two 12s. We knew that there wasn't a 5-channel amp. The 500 watts was not going to be enough for the P3 12s that he wanted to use.
Yeah.
So we did a 750.1 on the subs, which was perfect. It's about 900 watts of Rockford power. And then we did a 400 by 4 on the mids and highs, which was about 550, I think the birth certificate said on that one. So for that situation, that was perfect. However, what we normally do in that car is we just do one P312 behind the seat, and for that we'll use like an Alpine PDX V9. It has 500 watts. It's perfect for that sub. It's great. And then it's 100 watts by 4 for the corner, so it's awesome. It just really depends, but at the end of the day, it always comes down to how much power you're planning on putting on that subwoofer. Come up with more letters. Yeah, more letters. Acronyms are great. Who doesn't love acronyms? Me, this guy, I hate them. So there you go. That's how you want to decide whether you buy a 4-channel or a 5-channel.
Yeah. What can I do?
Audio 6-channel, really nice. Push P3 is really and that's a nice thing too. 6 channels are becoming more popular. Like Audio Control now has the 6-channel. Phoenix Gold has their 6-channel. Kicker is coming out with their Marine 6-channel, which can only lead that's eventually going to make it into the non-Marine version of it. But either way, who cares? It's a 6-channel. You can use it in a car. I like the 6-channel, but I still feel at the end of the day, it's not going to be loud enough for anything more than that 300 to 500 watts of power.
All right, Andrew, what can I do if no one does a dash kit for a car, but I want to replace the factory hand unit?
Okay, so if no one does a dash kit for the car, the first thing is what car is it? How new is the car? We used to run into this problem a lot before we ran into cars now that everything is digital, controlled through the bus system. Back in the day, we'd have Volvos. I did a CTS. I did a Tundra. These were all cars that didn't have dash kits, but they also didn't have anything that was particular about them as far as riding the bus of the car, meaning that it didn't have anything special. It took a standard harness. There was nothing cool there. If that's the case, really all you have to do is Bondo, wood, plexi, fiberglass, whatever you got, make a dash kit for it, put the radio in. Sometimes if the radio can't be replaced, you can't do that. That radio can't come out of the car, and that's a problem. In that case, a lot of the times you might be able to relocate that radio somewhere else, keep it in the loop, and put the radio in the dash and wire it in all on its own, meaning the factory radio is put somewhere maybe in the glove box, and the aftermarket radio's in the dash. You made a custom dash kit for it, and everything controls through there. But it really is a tough one to do nowadays because certain cars, that radio just can't come out.
Yeah. That's it.
What's up, Fernando?
What's up? What's up, Jose?
Big car audio installs.
Like
10K watts. No.
No.
That's really not our customer
SPL
base.
stuff.
Yeah.
No.
We got a couple guys in the area that take care of that stuff that are really good. Like Jethro Eason. I don't know if you got some of you SPL guys know who he is. He makes Eternal Audio. Eternal Audio. He's right down the street here. Good buddy. He's an SPL guy. I'm not going to compete with him because he knows way more about SPL than I will ever know. So if I get a guy that comes in and is like, dude, I want to build a 10K car, I say, let me introduce you to Jethro Eason. He's right down the street here, and he will build you a 10K car all day long. He'll sell you some of his Jet Eternal speakers and amplifiers.
And walls and all that stuff.
And, he's on the SPL scene. He's built the monster trucks, super SPL vehicles. He's been doing it his whole life. I've known him forever. I've known him and his brother for a super long period of time. They're both great guys. So when it comes to stuff like that, it's not my forte. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything about it. So I just send them over to the guy that does.
Yep.
You know, I'm not bummed about it. I'm not worried about losing the business. You know, I'm not going to make you happy, so I'm going to send you somebody that will make you happy.
There you go. Thank you, Christian. Thank you for spending the night with us.
Yes, thank you so much for watching. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you do? Old school fishman, start putting fish tanks. Fish tanks in the build. Okay, guys, listen, that was great. We've had a lot of fun tonight. Like I said, podcast is coming.
Yes.
We'll let you guys. We're thinking it's going to be Wednesday, which means it'll go up Thursday. We'll let you know more next Saturday if you don't catch the Monday show. Otherwise, catch the Monday show on Tuesday on YouTube. We're going to head out of here. You guys have an awesome, safe weekend. If you're going to watch the Pro Bowl this weekend, there again, I'm not a football guy.
Yeah, but
what are we forgetting about?
Don't forget questions. I'm sorry. You comments for the podcast.
Yes, let us know what Android podcast you guys use so that we put this in the comments. Not now. Wait till we're done here in a minute. Yeah. Put those down there so we know where to put the podcast for you. It's already on iTunes, so we're good there. Keep it up. You too.
Yes. Julio, déjame el comentario aquí abajo y yo te lo puedo responder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need shirts?
Yes.
Teespring.
Yes.
You want to support us? Patreon.
Yep.
If you need tools, dnftooldrower.com. Links are all down below if you want to follow him on Instagram.
Yes.
Me on Instagram.
Mr.
5 Star on
Lopez.
Instagram. It's all there.
Yep.
You guys have a great, safe, awesome weekend. We will see you next week. Bye.
Thank you, guys.